By the way, my door, if I close and it opens, it's the dogs, not a ghost in my house. It's like it opens and people are always like, what's, who just, do you have like a midget in the house? Yes, I do. Okay. And let me, so I am Prati Kaufman. Let me tell you a little bit of backstory because really all this wisdom and all, I really don't, I understand, but I really feel like it's a gift to me. It's nothing to do with my own thing. I just tap into it. So I don't know if you guys know, I grew up in India. I was that girl who did not know English, who collected cow dung, who went to outhouse, you name it, and I've done it, right? We used to get water every 4 days. So we would, clean our utensils with ashes because there was no water available. We had a human chain to put the water up on the tank and all of that. So if I am here, more than a strategy, more than anything, it is because I've just had this stupidly crazy belief that everything will always work out for me. So no matter what I did, I'm just going to do it, right? So I want to go to Dubai. Okay, pack my bags and go. I want to do this. But so I never really thought about, what will happen if things don't work out? Like that's just never occurred to me. So I just kept doing what I wanted to do. So going to English, place, a college, which was just really, everything spoke English and I didn't know a word of it. I was the only girl holding my father's hand when I walked in the college. It's not a joke, like seriously, okay? Like I was so scared to go so far from home. So I was holding my father's hand so tight, okay? So going from that, to here, it's only because of one thing that you just have to believe in everything you are or whatever you're doing. And so all this strategy, whatever I'm going to talk about, nothing tops your own power of the mind. And that's what I really work with my clients is your marketing and let's align it with your own power of mind. That's it. So I don't do anything different, which other marketing strategies are not doing or anybody who's good at it. The only different thing is I make sure that everything we are doing is in alignment with who you are, or we don't do it at all. So that's what makes me different. I have notes because I wanted to be very precise today and don't want to go all over the place. Yesterday, I took my son to a baseball practice. Coach, I had a batting coach for him because he's very invested in baseball. Literally, he did 3 hits. Coach had him down exactly where his problems are, what he's going to do, where his power is, everything, right? One of the things he mentioned, which is going to stay with me forever, is be mindful of how you swing when you're standing idle. That's the called power of intention. He said, you're not going to swing whatever, even when you're swinging, when you're standing and you're just like swinging your bat, be mindful of how you're swinging it because it matters. That's where coaching does. That's what it is. Like everything you do, it has to be done with the intention and with awareness, not like, oh, I'm here. So I'm like, wow, first thing, that's what he said. After he observed like literally 3 minutes and the first thing said, be mindful of how you sing. Other thing he said, which again, what I believe in, always be ready for your greatest hit, which is around the corner. No matter what, today you hit, you've done 3 home runs, doesn't matter. You're going to next day and you're still going to say, my greatest hit is going to be today. So your today has to be better than yesterday all the time. So don't go into your past stories. Don't glorify what your past was, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter except for the learning value, but your today has to be better than tomorrow. And why am I talking this? Because that's what I do for marketing. What are we doing today? Like, forget about what you've done. Who cares? What are we going to do? Where are we going to get? What do you want? Tell me that. And let's make it happen, kind of a thing. What was, it's great to learn something from it and then move on. So that's what it is. So I love those 2 things, being intentional and always going with just one thing in mind, that I am going to do today today is going to be the best day of my life. It's powerful. Okay. When you wake up with that thought, it's powerful. Now, before I talk about marketing, today I'm really going to talk about what an integrated marketing look like, not so much of strategy. If you want to learn more about strategy, just go to my website. I have a blog which breaks out every strategic component. Again, it's not the same. I've copy pasted a lot of things what people talk about because that's mostly for the SEO. I've done it. You have to do search engine optimization for your website. So you need to write things down, these basic terms. So, but you can learn all that, strategic versus tactic. In a big picture, strategy is you deciding, I need to, from here, from Connecticut, I want to go to California. You Google, right? Or you map out your paths. So you say, okay, there are 3 or 4 options I need to go. And then you kind of set that and you say, okay, considering my time and my resources, this is the best way to get there. That's your strategy. Now, tactical is, where am I going to stay? Where am I going to eat? How many hours I need to drive, right? All those are tactics to get to California. So that's all it is. Strategy, California is your goal today. Tomorrow, your goal may be Australia. Like, who knows? So don't get so caught up with the goals. You just keep going. These are just destination. Today is this, tomorrow is, so you're going to get there and you're going to move to the next place. So have a big vision, but just so that's strategy, is really mapping out your route. And then tactic is getting there and then also pivoting. If you have a traffic jam for 3 hours, okay, can I take back roads, right? So that's where when you're so prepared, it's so easy to be flexible, to change, to stay, to respond to unknowns. You really have to prepare for that. So, one of the things I do, I call it crisis preparedness. Like, I'll brush with my left hand. I will make my bed, and I won't make my bed because I get so aggravated with an unmade bed. And I work in their room just to train my mind in any situation. Can you work? Can you do these things which you hate, you dislike, right? If I love yoga, I will not do yoga for a week. Like, this is so weird. Like, I just want to be make myself uncomfortable rather than people making me uncomfortable, and really training my mind to go through, live and be the best it can be in any given point. So that's what I call preparation for crisis. And that's what strategy is, really, always staying ahead of the game. So I'm going to just take a break here, breathe, because now I'm going to talk about integrated marketing. If anybody has any question, we'll take for 2 minutes before I get into integrated marketing. Basically, I'm taking a break from speaking.
Any questions, ladies?
All right. We will do another Q&A later on. So if you have, let's talk about integrated marketing. I'm going to start with Instagram, okay? And I can talk whole day about it. So I'm really going to keep 1 or 2 platforms at the most. So when I'm on Instagram, I always look at my customer journey, what I want people to do, right? What will happen if they're on Instagram? My goals are only 2 for Instagram, right? It is go to my website, right, at the end of the day, or promote my events and group coaching program. That's it. I have only 2 goals. That's all I do, like sell my offers or let them go to website, okay? But what happens, that is my goal. What people do, they'll check my Instagram, they'll go to Google and they'll Google me. They'll go to my website, right? And even on website, where are they going? Are they going to free download? Am I driving them to my interviews? Am I driving them to my podcast? Am I driving them to my speaking page? Am I driving them to about? So again, being intentional, where I want from Instagram, if I am posting a certain post and promoting something, where do I send them? That has to be mapped out completely, right? But what people do is this, right? Or they join the networking event I'm doing. Like, a lot of people have followed me on LinkedIn. A lot of people follow me on Instagram. A lot of people, are on my Facebook friends, but they all join certain things because they follow me on different platforms. So remember that just because they're on Instagram doesn't mean they're not going to look for you elsewhere. So show up consistently the same way. One of the biggest compliment I get from everyone is you're exactly the same no matter where we go. Your website, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, you never have a conflicting message on any of the platform. And they all are different. I am very particular about what I post on LinkedIn versus what I post on Instagram and what I post on Facebook. It's never the same. And a website, yet you come across as the same person. And that is the power, again, of intention and keeping consistently and knowing who you are, okay? And then I get a DM. That also happens, like, oh, I want to work with you, what next? So so first step is, okay, and this is what people are doing. Now, if they DM me what I need to do, Okay, when they DM me, I ask a couple of questions, we schedule a call. If we schedule a call, it is either yes, no, or maybe. What am I going to do if it's yes? Send a proposal, like mapping out again the customer journey, right? If it's a no, get them into nurture, right? You don't just give up. And then if it's a maybe, then you understand, okay, give them space and time and follow up after a week or so, or maybe 10 days. Again, mapped out, planned out all the way to the end. And then you continue build from there on. And if they happen to go to my website, now what? If they do a free download, what I want them to do? If they do a free download, I get their email. If they don't do it, I don't get the email. It's very simple, right? So if I get their email, what I need to do next to nurture them? Do I want to have an email sequence? If it is, how would it look like? So again, you have to plan everything. You talk about integration, right? From email, now where do I want them to go again? Do I want them to go back to my Instagram? Do I want them to follow? So again, mapping out even with the email, what action I want them to take from my emails is very clear. Is it educational? Or what do I want to do? Again, very much of an intentional process, everything is. And laying down, I write down all my processes because that's where the automation happens. That's where I can free my time way more because I know exactly where I can automate and where I am needed. So most of it is automated, the whole email sequencing and all. And then if they DM me, right? So this is again, this is what happens, when they go on Google, if you Google me, what do I want you to see? I'm really intentional with that too. So I make sure my SEO, I'm showing up. So if you Google me, literally the first page is going to be about me because I have very intentionally worked on that part of my business where people Google me, they get to know me right away. There's no problem. Even the coach yesterday, my son's coach said, oh, I Googled you. I do the same for students, what you do for others. It was so funny. He Googled me just with my phone number. So again, who I don't want to be when people Google me. So this is called integrated marketing. You have thought of every step. You've taken customer journey, minutiae, like every single point, and you are being very intentional about what I want them to experience it at any given point on all touch points. And you are driving that whole ship, not leaving it. It goes wherever it goes. The wave will take you over. Like, no, let me just kind of at least figure this out at best I can. Again, preparing. What I've learned from DM, and these are just my things, okay? I check out everything about that customer. I go prepared. I will follow their social media. I will check their website out. I will really understand who they are before I go. And I learned that from Oprah. If you ever watch Oprah interview anyone, she knows everything about the person. She'll read the book. She will put all that effort before she interviews people. So learning from, again, the best, right? How do they get so engaging with people? Because they learn everything about it. Ask questions. That's what, when I am one-on-one, I'm on a call now, I'm meeting person for the first time, I ask a lot of questions. One thing I don't do is don't I assume anything because I won't give solution at that moment right away. I learned that the hard way because I will say, oh, your website is not matching. And they're like, yeah, I don't have a budget. So I always ask, is there a reason why your website is where it is and your social media looks, and let them speak before I give solutions. So first meeting is never about a solution. It's just truly understanding and aligning the resources, or then coming back and saying, okay, this is what you can do for your business, and this is the best way to approach it. So again, you got to decide how you want to do it, what happens. So again, it's a very simple integrated marketing, right? So now you're talking about Instagram, but then you have to take care of all these things if you're just on Instagram. What I want them to go, where are they going, and what they're going to experience. So it's not just Instagram. Now you're talking about a big picture marketing. You're not just, I'm going to do this course, create here. I'm going to be on YouTube. I'm going to be doing this. And then none of them are in alignment. You're just throwing, it's like, I'm going to keep throwing shit on the wall. Something is going to stick. It's too time consuming, too much of a creating stress, too much of everything. So I would rather not throw. I know what I want them to want to stick, and I just going to work on making sure that it sticks. That's it. So that is the first example of what an integrated marketing looks like and feels like. Even with Instagram, I'm going to share something. Is it okay if I share, Divya, something? You just have to give me the rights. Okay, I'm going to share something. This is the deep, like how little we get. We even do the hashtag research. And that happens every month. We are making sure we are staying on trend with hashtags on Instagram. There is an Instagram client. It's not like oh, let's just do your hashtag. No, we are going to get in. We are going to look at it. We are looking at the SEO. We make sure that your SEOs are perfect. Again, we look at the words so that you can use all those on the blogs and see what is being searched, how to use it to best of your ability. They need to be on social media. Same words need to be on your blogs. This is called integrated marketing, where we are really combining things to create an experience, unforgettable experience for the customer who is coming to you. They are like, wow, that person is really thoughtful. I want to work with you because I really like how thoughtful you are about my journey. So I'm going to pause here and then we'll move to another example, the paid one.
So Prati, Patrina has a question in the chat about the hashtags and the SEO words for the blogs, and she's wondering where we get this information.
I have my team. That's all they do. They do the research. They look at it. It's work. They have some tools you can pay for, which can provide you all these things for any businesses, and that's how they do it. So I don't know exactly what tools they're using. I don't get into so much detail. I know they're just doing the work for me.
Any other questions for Prati?
I hope I didn't overwhelm anyone. Like, it's just one example. So if you are feeling like need clarity, my intention again is not to overwhelm you, just help you understand that you really have to think about the customer journey for everything you do. Perfect. So do we have time to go for another one, or I can wrap it up here too? Like, this is good. You know, I can go for one more example of a paid marketing.
I think there's time for you to give us at least one more example.
So another example, this what I talked about was really organic marketing, right? How you have to build it. Now comes the paid. You've got to be even more intentional. Now you're spending money. Okay. So I have again a client where we're really trying podcast advertising for the first time. You know, again, being honest about it, so we have done massive research on podcast advertising, on what's the best platform, what shows we want to be in, what's our budget. So now we are ready, right? Now it's a podcast advertising. Now, how are we? First thing, the person we connected with, the agency, advertising agency, they said, how are you supporting my strategy? So if we do podcasts, how are you supporting that? So again, it has to be integrated. So what you just don't go on one platform and do it, right? You may spend more money on one platform, but then you have to support it. So now we have to make sure that we have a little bit of Pinterest ads going, right? A little bit of Facebook ads going to support. So when people go, because on an average, a person who's following you is going to check you out at 3 platforms before they buy it. This whole thing about touch points, 6 to 7 touch points with the client, you don't need to wait for 6 months now, because they are following you on different platforms. You can very quickly do those touch points like within a month. So another thing with the power of digital marketing, they are checking your website there. So we have to align all of it together. Another thing, if they are coming from bad podcast to my website, so basically now we have to create 3 different coupon codes, one from the podcast, one from the Facebook, one from the Pinterest, so we can track who is coming from where. So there's a whole lot of tracking going on behind the scenes. Okay, now we have done that. The next thing is customer journey. So if they come to the website, they buy something great. What if they leave? How are we going to nurture them? So that's another sequence. Okay, what are the things we are going to do to get them back to retargeting? So making sure how those customers are retargeted, and if they still don't buy, it's okay. Let's get them to just give us the email, right? Whether it's a discount coupon or join our birthday club or something. and then we move to that. So again, it is a full integrated. So just email marketing, doing just email marketing for the sake of it is also not going to work. Again, knowing how each person is coming and what they're doing on your website, and then really creating a plan based on what, again, put yourself in your customer journey and really think about what can I do the best possible solution. So like recently we launched a website, okay, for Illuminate, and I'm going to share. We created a shopping experience for e-com, just like Amazon, instead of doing everybody else is doing. So this is a standard, what do you call, a candle company, correct? They will put all these categories, and then you have to keep going and understanding, what they buy. What we did, because why would you not do what the best of the best online retail is doing? So this is a new website. Now look at us. We created an experience where you can just do everything here. You don't need to go back and forth. You can pick what you want. You want home? Do you want a collection? Do you want a seasonal collection? So it's just like Etsy and Amazon. I mean, they are the best people for e-com. So why would you not follow that example and follow the old-fashioned way of doing it? So again, it's really understanding, doing your market research, and doing the best possible thing for your client, and not what everybody is doing. You gotta get innovative. So, and then we are integrating everything you can imagine. All the emails are automated here. Everything, birthday club, everything is automated, right? We have identified the customer journey, and we are automating like crazy, where customer doesn't need to do much. Where this monthly email is just getting automated, so that process, as much as we can, keep it going on its own and not waste time, your own time and energy, figuring this out every single day. So, what happens with this is there's a lot of work upfront, right? Just like anything in life, but then life gets really easy because you're putting all the work to start with. So this is the second example of how integrated marketing works.
Awesome. We have a couple of questions for you in the chat. Well, certainly people are commenting, like April said, it's not about posting to post. Elizabeth loves the way your website that you presented looks. And Robin is asking, what do you recommend for those of us who do not yet have the budget to hire someone like you to ensure that all this is mapped out and aligned? If you had to choose one place to start or ensure you're doing, what do you suggest?
Great question, Robin. So if you can do most of it on your own, right? At least hire somebody to get mapped out everything, because you would miss, if you're not a marketing person, it's very easy to miss these little things. So again, it's not me, anybody who can help you identify your processes, at least one. So let's say you're starting from social media, identify the whole process and create that. And that's good enough to start with. So again, what do you really enjoy? Which platform do you enjoy? I will start from that. Which marketing activity you enjoy the most is start from that and create a process for that. I mean, for this website, I have been careful. The photography, what look and feel we want, graphic designing, and everything had to be realigned, because earlier she was doing all like different people and nobody knew the big picture. So we have aligned everything, the ebook, right? Everything looks the same now than ever before. Everything is integrated and, really a big brand-like experience.
I like that. Were there any additional questions for Prati? Any questions? Let's go to gallery view to see if I'm missing anybody raising their hands. One of the things that I know is that we probably as entrepreneurs forget that we have to really consider the customer journey. I think it's something that we don't talk about enough. I think it's something that we don't pay enough attention to. And I think there is an opportunity for all of us to, when we leave here today, just go and pick one, like Prati says, pick one platform that we like to be on, and go through the journey that we're expecting the customer to go through from the very first contact that they have with us to the point where they may or may not become our customer. What are the different steps that they're going through? And then just seeing, how we are being at each step of the way. And is it aligning? Are we showing up the same way in all the places that people can find us? Before everybody hopped back on from the breakout sessions, April and I were talking about how the colors of the Ladies Power Lunch bracelet look exactly the same as the colors on our new book that's coming out. And, we're really making an effort to get things to start to look the same and start aligning and start to be the same, so that as we are making changes with Ladies Lunch and introducing new activities and new opportunities for all of us, that there is a consistency with the brand, like Prati is suggesting. So, Prati, final words. If we take nothing else away from you sharing with us today, what would you like for us to remember?
Two things actually. One, break your ego patterns every single day. You're gonna get up and break every single pattern you have. Like that's the only work you have actually in life. Nothing else matters. Okay. This business, whatever, husband, wife, children, it's all gonna come and go, right? They all children. Life is about personal growth, where who you are and who you're gonna be becoming at some point in life, right? So choose deliberately. Ego is really powerful. It comes every single day. I do it this way. I'm this, like, it's so easy to get offended. It's so easy to be that person. So drop ego every single day if you can. That's the first thing. Second thing, I was just interviewed by Medium about a great company and a good company. Good company focuses on profits and customer. A great company focus on everybody who is coming, you're coming in touch. They focus on people. They focus on the experience they want to create, not just for the customer, for everybody who is part of the company. That's what differentiates from a good to a great company. Remember that. That's all it is. People. At the end of the day, people are no, they are the power. Nothing else should matter in life. So money, all of it. At the end of the day, it is relationship and it's people. Just always put that on top, no matter what. So those
Awesome.
are the only wise words.
Very wise words indeed. Thank you so much, Prati, for sharing with us. And I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording here.